This is what, and that's where the line was of the water that was standing. That much water was standing all the way up in that driveway. Ran all the way down our driveway. All this was flooded. Every last bit of this was covered with water. There's still standing water in our driveway. You can see the debris that was washed down because they didn't keep the drains clean. They cut a trench to the side and cut a trench down to the garage, washed boards loose. All the water that was piled up in the road because of them neglecting to clean the drains out this morning until 5:30, till after I called, came down all through our yard, filled our entire front yard up. And all the water that was filled up in the front yard went to our basement. Now I gotta get my keys and see what damage is done to the garage and the basement. And as you can see, the chicken coop, the small chicken coop, was moved last night in case the water got up. It did get up some, but it did not get up far enough to take away the straw from the chicken coop. It did not get up past the wire fence. It got up to it, as you can see by the limbs down, but it did not get up past it. There are still some water ponding inside where we filled for our property and cleaned the river out. All that was full of trash and debris before we did it. But as you can see, the straw is still in our yard. The water in the front yard did not come from the lights on here. Lights come on. One light on. What you see is all wet. Water came all the way in the front doors and out the side door. You can see where the water got up on the side door. Yes, I brought my chickens in here because I figured they'd be safer. I had no idea. All the dark you see is water. I'm throwing the light. There we go. Look at the water. Still running. All the crap that was pushed up, all that drained down. And as you can see, the water is still running out the door. Where it piled up, come in the front of the garage. That's your tax dollars hard at work. Everything. See how far the water came up on my bag? That's at least 2.5 inches of water that was in my garage due to them not cleaning the drain out like they're supposed to. This is just the garage. I hate to even open the basement door, because all that water came straight in the front of our garage where they didn't clean the drain out. As you can see, that far up on my bag of oyster shells. At least a good 2 inches of water has been through my garage and came down and went straight out the door. A few more inches and it would have been a fire. This is just a part of the garage. Like I said, I have my chickens, my roosters, in here because I thought they would be safe from the water instead of being in the backyard. Little did I know the city wouldn't fulfill its obligations to clean drains out, and now I have water. 2 inches of water has poured in. You can still see water over to the edge of the door and ruined everything that I had. Here's the basement. Look at the water. It's ruined everything in our basement. I can get a better, closer view for you. That is water. That is standing. That is, our basement is covered. There is at least several inches of water in our basement because of the lack of drainage, because of the city's problem and neglect. You can hear the water. Can't even stand down there without getting my shoes wet. But you can hear the water. Everything that was in our basement is ruined because they refused to clean the drain out. Everything. You can see where the water line was. We got a good 2 inches of water in our basement, and the further you go down toward the back of the basement, the deeper it is. And that is water standing there. As you can see, that is water underneath those bricks. It's deep enough to completely cover a brick. See how the water came up? That's what we got just because they didn't clean the drains out. Okay. Why you bother, Blackaroo?